Everybody, so for the purpose of this video, we are going to be discussing the coronary circulation of the heart. I am going to go kind of quickly through the slides that follow this one, just because they're a little more detail. So once you fully understand what we're talking about in this slide, then you can look at those slides and add a little bit more to it. But for the purposes of coronary circulation, I mentioned this in the a former video, but your heart's job is to pump blood to the whole body to deliver oxygen for cellular respiration. That is the job, right? We want oxygen. Every cell needs it in order to do something. So if you want to do any work, if you need energy for anything, which all of your cells do, you need oxygen. That includes your heart. So people get kind of confused when you hear that the heart is getting oxygen for itself, right? It's kind of different. So in that case, we do have arteries and veins that deliver oxygen and remove oxygen directly to the heart. And these are called the coronary arteries. These arteries are going to deliver oxygen directly to the heart so that it can have its own oxygen supply. Once delivered, the coronary sinus is going to take all of that blood, all that deoxygenated blood, and bring it back to the heart, specifically to the right atrium, so it can then get oxygen again. So the point is, yeah, your heart has its own veins and arteries. These are the coronary arteries and the coronary veins, as well as the coronary sinus, which is the major coronary vein. All the coronary veins end up going into the coronary sinus to go back to the right atrium. In these slides, it's the same content, it's just adding a little bit more to it. So you can take a look at this when you feel comfortable. And it's just showing specifically where this oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood is going to be traveling. Here are some important terms to note when we're talking about the heart specifically. The first one is ischemia. So ischemia has to do with you have low blood oxygen. So there's a deficiency in blood oxygen in your coronary artery. And typically, this is just due to constriction or blockage of the heart. So sometimes you get an embolus, which is the fancy word for clot. So now, because of that, your coronary artery is clogged and you cannot get enough oxygenated blood to your heart. Because of this, you're going to have damage to those tissues. So we call this ischemia. Angina is a term that we hear that has to do with the ischemia. So if you have an ischemic attack, typically you feel that pain in your chest. So they go together. So when you feel that, when you have angina, that just means that you have that chest pain associated with the ischemia, the lack of oxygen to your heart. If you are unable to get oxygen to your heart for a long enough period of time, it can start to kill off those muscle cells. So your heart will start to die. This doesn't mean the whole heart dies. It just means at least some of the heart muscles cells are going to start to die. This is a heart attack, and this is due to that ischemia. Right? You can't get oxygen, so the cells start to die. The technical term for this is MI, myocardial infarction, and it's in the name. So myocardial, the muscle of the heart, is not getting its oxygen. It's dying. So it's not able to do its job correctly. All right, so here are three major terms that we tend to use when we're talking about coronary artery as well as, or veins, as well as the heart. Right, so oxygen is extremely important to the heart, as everyone should know, and this is how we deliver it. This is how we bring it back to the heart, and here are the terms associated with low oxygen levels to the heart. If you have any questions, please let me know.